One pair of very useful functions in Excel which nevertheless will not work well together are VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. Unfortunately, even though they are very useful, we can't have them work in the same formula, at least not nested one inside the other. If we want to work with a block of data such as the one we see here, we have to find an alternative. The function which will nest with either of them and allow them to do their jobs a lot more efficiently is called match. In the block of data we see here, I've got several years of car data running down column A, and I've got the names of several makes of car going across row 1. Down here in rows 11 through 13, I've put in a sample year, a sample make, Chevrolet, and the price, which results from the formula in cell F13. If I want to evaluate the formula, step through it a piece at a time, to show how VLOOKUP and match work together, I can use the evaluate feature up here under the formulas tab. When I bring up the box, the first thing VLOOKUP needs is the lookup value, which it is told is in cell F11, in this case the year 2012. When I step in and go through the first couple of steps, I see it does indeed find 2012. When I click step out, it jumps over to the beginning of the match function. It knows where to go with the data, the so-called table array, A1 through F9, but in order to get the information on how far to the right it needs to go from column A, the so-called column index number, it goes to match. That is, it lets match take over. Match looks in cell F12, where the make, Chevrolet, can be found. It then takes that piece of information and goes to cells A1 through F1. As I step out here, we can see it does indeed find a match for Chevrolet, in this case in the second column, and it sees the 0, which I wrote here earlier, meaning give me an exact match or nothing. But because it is able to find how far to the right to go in a group of cells that match up, no pun intended, with the block A1 through F9, when I evaluate what the match function did, it comes up with the number 2, meaning go to the second column of that block, A1 through F1, and then pass that piece of information, the number 2, back to VLOOKUP. So the final result is the price in question, $14,144. It knew to go first to the year, 2012. The VLOOKUP function ran its electronic finger down to the year 2012 and then asked the match function how far to the right to go. The match function looked for, in this case, Chevrolet, in a block that is laid out the same as the major block, A1 through F9. Therefore, it knew go to the second column. From the year 2012, we move to the right, one column only, and 14,144 is indeed the result we find. If I were to change the year, let's say to 2014, and hit enter, we see that we still have a Chevrolet, but now we're looking at 13,149 for the price instead. If I were to change the make, for example, to Kia, and again hit enter, now we see that a 2014 Kia, according to this block of information, is $59,040. So the formula allows for easy selection of data. Instead of having to create an entire second block of cells, create an entire separate formula, we could do that, but it's not efficient. This technique has the advantage of putting all the necessary accoutrements in one place and simplifying the overall procedure, at least to a degree.